Hello and welcome to this little series on the Easter Triduum. Today we are celebrating Maundy Thursday or Holy Thursday. We read in tonight's Gospel from St. John, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. Tonight and tomorrow we will find out what this means. For Jesus to love them to the end, for Jesus to love us to the end. Tonight in the upper room, tomorrow on the cross. They may have found a safe haven in the upper room, but there is no safety outside those four walls. In fact, Jesus is now preparing his disciples for his death, and even telling them that one of his disciples, Judas, would betray him. And now, just hours before his betrayal and arrest, Jesus has gathered his disciples together in this upper room. If we were with him, we might wonder why. Why has he gathered us here? Is it to hide us from danger? Is it to plan the next move? And what is the next move? During supper, knowing all that was to come, Jesus got up from the table, took off his outer robe and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and he began to wash the disciples' feet. This simple act was Jesus' response to all the chaos and confusion and conflict that was swirling around him. All the danger, all the suffering that he knew was coming. The betrayal by Judas, the denial by Peter, the crowd shouting at him to be crucified, the religious and political leaders deriding him right up to his death. All of that was coming, and Jesus knew it. And his response to all that was the simplest, most humble, least practical, but most ordinary act of love and kindness that you could possibly imagine. And he did it, he says, to teach his disciples and to teach us what is more important than anything else in this world. He did it to teach us that at the end of the day, what really matters in this chaotic, crazy life is love. To love each other as Jesus loved all of us, that's all that really matters. When we look around at our world today, there is a lot to be concerned about. Even if there wasn't this ongoing pandemic, there is also a lot of unrest, a lot of tension, a lot of violence. Just turn on the news on any given day and you will find something discouraging, something to worry about, something to get angry about. And all of this is why I think that Jesus did that in the upper room and why he did it and why it was so important. And to remember that when he did this, it was at a very anxious and discouraged point in his ministry. The upper room was a very tense place, a fearful place, a divided place. In other words, it was a real place. No matter what else is going on in our lives, we can love one another. At times it won't seem enough. We will want to do more. Life is complicated. The world is complicated. And there are many times when we will be tempted to remember again all the chaos, confusion, conflict and unrest swirling around in that upper room. And to remember how Jesus responded to all that. He responded to all of that by loving those he was with. When in doubt, love one another. A simple command, but one that can guide us through whatever confusion and chaos we might experience in this world. How do we love each other? By washing each other's feet. Do you remember the words he used? Unless you learn to wash each other's feet, you will never know what true love really is. So we are called to be foot washers, lowly, humble servants. And so, with great joy, we celebrate tonight this most happy Holy Thursday. We celebrate the fact that he comes to us in this very special way and will continue to come to us in this very special way as long as we need him. And then we will begin to understand the great graciousness of God himself, for God is a giver. And when we learn how to give, we touch God.